I'm going to France.
Oui, étant tenu est complètement ridicule.
I am going as part of my college's study abroad program for Annecy Animation Festival. It is all about the top cool industry stuff that's happening for animation and the future of the industry and where it's going. And me personally, I graduate next year. I would like it to be good. There's gonna be all the bigwig studios like Disney and DreamWorks and Sony, but there's also gonna be weird independent animation with experimental stuff. No miraculous ladybug panel though. 0 out of 10. It's gonna be really cool. So I should pack. Should I bring you? Yeah, he doesn't even fit in the suitcase. Boo! It's the future. So, the actual first week of the trip was not at Annecy Festival. It was in Paris. Fun fact about me, I love museums. My favorite thing to do at museums? Stalk people. I love watching people watch the art. It is fascinating. I can't show you the pictures I took of strangers, but I can tell you that museums are full of people that are trying to look like they get it, you know? I'd love to make a video about people in museums one day. If I can just get through this shit. I also checked out a ton of cool restaurants and bakeries, and I made friends with my fellow classmates, and everyone was super cool and kind, even when I was pointing at the Eiffel Tower and going, oh my gosh, it's the Eiffel Tower from Miraculous Ladybug. And, you know, even when they left me at the metro. Twice. But by far, the most interesting thing that we did while in Paris was we did a tour of Studio La Cachette. I had never been in a real animation studio before, let alone a French one, so I was like really scared.
What if this sucks? What if this is just as bad as the office job of my nightmares?
It wasn't. It was actually pretty cozy. I don't have any photos because it's a super secret studio, and they showed us super secret stuff. The founder of the studio talked about his journey, how he worked for Disney, and then they didn't have what he wanted, so he started his own studio, and he was finally presenting his longtime passion project at the animation festival that we were going to go to. And it can be really hard to remember that this is the goal. To make something you love that will hopefully connect with other people. That's the goal. That's the point of all of this. As a worker, it can be really easy to forget the intrinsic value of making something with love and for the process of making it, not just for the end product, which hopefully gets you money. Anyway, we took a train to Annecy, which, by the way, is a gorgeous town.
Annecy, it's day one. All of us are vlogging.
Vlogception. Stare at my vlog. It had this giant clear lake that we all went swimming in, and you could see the bottom, which was perfect for me. I hate bodies of water that you cannot see the bottom of. I know what's in this water. I can see it. And the next week, I'll be honest, it's kind of a blur. I was waking up early, going to bed late, and I went to stuff for Aardman, Warner Brothers, Sony, Powerhouse, Pixar, and a ton of smaller studios too. And there were picnics and parties and movies and coffee, and I don't remember anybody's name, and I have a bajillion business cards, and I don't know which ones I've already followed on Instagram or which ones I've connected with on LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn. I don't know how I can express to you how much I do not enjoy LinkedIn. It was network, which I understand that that's ultimately why we're there, to get a job, but the language around networking has always bothered me. Of course I want a job, and I know there are people at this festival that could change my life, and that I should maximize my time here. But at the same time, I value authenticity above all else. I am an artiste. But when people talk about networking, they talk like it's some secret cheat code to get what you want from people, and that makes me feel icky. So whenever I was talking to people, I was obviously getting their LinkedIn and stuff, like that was a priority, but it was just a little more important to me for me to be myself, which I think is a strength. You're gonna know who you're working with if you do decide to hire me. I was so tired during all of this, and a lot of similar thoughts kept coming up for me, like the dissonance between art and business, and how social media has made art more of a spectator sport, and how even in France, I cannot escape the hell that is gendered restrooms. Mind you, there were some restrooms separated by like a piece of plastic. Like we're already up in each other's business, but the women's line is gonna be a mile out the door anyway because even though we're already in each other's business, why not just go use the restrooms that are open? And there was a bit of irony in the animation industry that kept showing itself. It's simultaneously an extremely collaborative art form, but also an extremely competitive space. I was running from a panel that was about maximizing your YouTube views to go see a movie that was someone's underfunded passion project of 6 years that just barely finished production. Plenty of artists want to make art just for the sake of it, but especially in the US, we're constantly reminded that this is a product, that it doesn't matter if it's beautiful art, because if it doesn't make more money than was spent on it, it'll reflect poorly on us in the future. And I don't quite know how to handle that dissonance yet. I messaged a couple people I met about it, and I'll be so honest, none of them have replied to me. So I'd love to hear what y'all think. Goodbye, France. Goodbye, not having air conditioning in every building.
Goodbye, waiting in line in the sweltering heat with no air circulation and like getting nauseous, and it really sucked in general.
Goodbye, cheap pastries.
Goodbye, really good sandwiches that fill me up for the whole day.
Goodbye, walking around with a baguette in my hand and just chomping on that thing.
Chomping on that thing.
I hope I get the chance to visit again someday soon, but for now, I feel like I have been hit by a train. Oh my god. Public transit? How does the rest of the world have this figured out and the US doesn't? You can just go places. You don't have to pay for parking. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about like remembering where you parked. You don't have to pay for gas. How does everybody else have this but we don't? Sugar honey iced tea!